Another season of Big 12 Big Football is here as 9 games highlight our first Saturday of action, with a lot of them happening in the morning, but we'll get to those in a minute because I want to start with that afternoon game over in Charlotte where the 17th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers take on SEC foe Tennessee. West Virginia comes into the season with lofty expectations, and on paper, that is totally justified. The Mountaineers have been pumping Will Greer's Heisman campaign since July as the quarterback is set to lead a loaded offense into 2018. Everybody knows about David Sills V, nation-leading 18 touchdowns last year. Almost a third of his catches went for touchdowns, but he's not the only weapon the Mountaineers have in the receiving corps. Gary Jennings Jr. led all West Virginia wideouts in receptions and receiving yards last year. Sills and Karan White ate up 30 touchdowns combined, but Jennings was just as an important part of the success of the passing game and will be crucial to the Mountaineers' success this year. Head coach Dana Holgorsen is a big fan of neutral site games to start the year and has been adamant that WVU won't shy away from scheduling them. He also told me back in July his team is excited to play another Power 5 opponent, especially in a city where so many faithful Mountaineers call home.
Yeah, we are. I mean, Tennessee's a great program. You know, they've got a tremendous amount of support. You know, they got great facilities. They recruit well. You know, having that neutral site game one, going to get all the fan bases excited. It's going to get the media excited, and I guarantee our players are going to be excited about that game too. To open up in Charlotte, that game sold out in like 5 minutes. So there'll be a lot of excitement for that. You know, and then you got to turn around. You got to do it again the next week.
CBS features that game at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. Now let's get it back to that morning slate where a big helping of firepower will be served early down in Houston. Texas Tech and Ole Miss lock up for the 6th time in program history in the conference's first of 2 Big 12 SEC matchups of the day. The Rebels and Red Raiders had 2 of the nation's top 11 passing offenses last season and should pick up where they left off. The story for Texas Tech in the offseason has been how much improved the defense should be, and they'll get tested early and often on Saturday morning. A look at the numbers here, and the Red Raiders and Rebels are similar in a lot of ways. The 2017 Raiders have the edge down this list, but points and yards per game are pretty close. That gap widens over at that third down percentage, always critical to win football games, and most notably, turnovers. Tech led the Big 12 and was a top 15 team in the country in turnover margin last year, a statistic they will most certainly want to carry over into 2018. Red Raider fans are probably particularly curious about what the offense will look like with so many new players being put into starting roles. But for Coach Kingsbury, this first game, more than anything else, he says, will teach him a heck of a lot about his team.
It'll be a tremendous experience for our players to play in Houston, NRG Stadium, and that type of atmosphere. And I think it'll only make us better for our conference run. So we're excited to see what we're about week 1, playing a very competitive team. It should be a heck of a game. I think win or lose, moving forward in your schedule, you're going to be a better team for it. And that's what we're hoping to accomplish. And plus for us to play in Houston and have that imprint in recruiting in that area, it's great for our program.
This is actually the Red Raiders' first neutral site season opener since 1959, and Tech has won 15 straight season openers, the 3rd longest streak in the country. Texas opens the season on the road against a Maryland team that, as you probably know, won in Austin a year ago. Not the start to his first year that Tom Herman wanted, but he's been adamant that the Longhorns today are far better than they were at this point a year ago. UT has another huge non-conference opponent down the road when USC makes a return trip to Austin week 3 of the season, but for now, the head horn knows that these early games can help a team mentally more than anything.
Oh, I think just the confidence, you know, if we can go win on the road, and the confidence if we can beat a top 25 team at home, is going to, you know, propel us, again, kind of get over that hump of, okay, this is not the Texas of the last 3 or 4 years. This is the new Texas.
Sam Ellinger will lead the charge into Annapolis on Saturday morning. Kick time is 11 a.m. Central, just like it is in Norman as we take a look at the full schedule of Saturday games. OU and TCU round out the 11 a.m. kicks before WVU and Tennessee take center stage at 2:30 Central Time. The evening slate features Kansas, K-State, Baylor, and Iowa State all hosting their Week 1 opponents at home. And finally, Oklahoma State defeated Missouri State on Thursday night. Taylor Cornelius, in his debut for the Pokes, went 24 of 34 for 295 yards and 5 touchdowns. After the game, Coach Gundy said he's got a lot of things to clean up, but as he's reiterated all offseason, patience is the key with a new quarterback. Justice Hill got 10 touches on Thursday night and made the most of them, going for 122 yards, including this 92-yard run, the 4th longest rushing play in Oklahoma State history. OSU now has 10 days to correct mistakes before South Alabama comes to BPS, followed by that big-time matchup with top 25 Boise State. So yeah, it may have felt like 84 years, but Big 12 football is back, and I, for one, am ready to watch it get going. We'll see you next week right here on Big 12 Big Football. For the Big 12 Conference, I'm Aaron Pryor.